Published 0808 EDT, the 12th of September 2017. Updated 1113 EDT, the 12th of September 2017. It is said that when Neymar plumped to move to Paris Saint-Germain over the summer, Barcelona teammate Lionel Messi made one last call to persuade him to stay. Messi's friendship with Neymar and with Luis Suarez is genuine, not a marketed phenomenon. The ease with which these superstars have interacted on the pitch and socialized off it belies football's truism that selflessness will always be trampled underfoot by a herd of egos. But, still, that last-minute call from Messi was doomed to fail. Perhaps rightly so, though for outside observers, anything that breaks up the combination of charisma, talent and instinctive understanding those three players possessed brings an intuitive resistance. From Neymar's perspective, how could he ever be anything other than Leo's little brother at Barcelona? Neymar Center takes a stroll on the Celtic Park pitch ahead PSGs Champions League opener. Neymar opted to leave Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi despite the success with Barcelona. Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo bestride this era of football. No one can get close to them. It was 2007 when a player other than those two was voted the world's best player. Neymar wants to place himself in that territory, and the challenge Neymar has chosen shouldn't be underestimated. Of course, he will be backed by Qatari money, but turning Paris Saint-Germain from Champions League aspirants into winners is some ask. Since the Qatari takeover of the club in 2011, they haven't been past the quarter-finals. They've only made the semi-finals once, back in 1995. To put it into context, it's a much trickier task than the task of Ronaldo in 2009, effectively brought to Real Madrid to win La Decima, the 10th Champions League. Messi, who was asked to fill the void left by the ejection of Ronaldinho from Barcelona in 2008. On both counts, those were missions accomplished. For those two players haven't just dominated individually. This has also been the era of Real Madrid and Barcelona, where once you might have suspected these last 10 years would be defined solely by Barca and their extraordinary team and playing style. Real Madrid's 3 Champions League wins in 4 years now placed them alongside the rivals on the pedestal as the teams of the epoch. The 2008 final in Moscow represented the zenith of Premier League dominance but also signaled the abrupt end of that era. Since then, 6 of the last 9 finals have been won by Barcelona and Real Madrid. The extraordinary Chelsea win against the odds in 2012 proved the last dying throes of Premier League ascendancy, and the Bundesliga final of 2013 was an aberration. So, Paris Saint-Germain have to knock out 2 dominant powers. And don't underestimate quite how affronted Real Madrid were by Kylian Mbappé rejecting them. This is a player who was given a personal tour round the Valdebebas training ground as a 16-year-old by Zinedine Zidane himself. Really, there should have been no contest. Kylian Mbappé opted to join Paris Saint-Germain despite interest from giants Real Madrid. Real Madrid captain Sergio Ramos lifts the Champions League trophy in Cardiff in June, yet Neymar's deal changed everything. Those close to PSG insist that without Neymar, they wouldn't have secured Mbappé. It was that statement of intent which allowed Mbappé, a Parisian after all, to convince himself that he could win the Champions League playing for the club he supported as a boy. Don't forget, too, that the summer window began with Dani Alves rejecting the chance to team up with Pep Guardiola at Manchester City to join PSG. Under PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi held firm when Marco Verratti attempted to force a move to Barca. What has happened in Paris this summer has been seismic for European football. The strength of the reaction from La Liga president Javier Tebas, with his accusations of PSG urinating into the communal pool from the diving board regarding financial fair play, and UEFA's seeming support of that statement with their announcement of an investigation, is an indication of just how seriously the powers that be regard the threat. UEFA's financial fair play rules were initially conceived more than 10 years ago as clubs blanched at the new era ushered in by Chelsea and Roman Abramovich. And yet the spending seems paltry by comparison, and not merely because of inflation. Even a super-oligarch looks emasculated set alongside nation-states such as Abu Dhabi and Qatar. Unai Emery right is under pressure to win PSG the Champions League this season. Neymar laughs as he and his PSG teammates prepare to take on Celtic on Tuesday evening, and yet Chelsea's win in 2012 aside, the new money hasn't as yet revolutionized the Champions League. Of course, it has changed it, added colour and competitiveness. But in terms of winners, there's been no change. Add Bayern Munich to the mix, then traditional support around European superpowers have won 7 of the last 9 Champions League finals. Manchester United won in 2008 and Inter Milan in 2010, also both part of European football's old boys club. Indeed, Manchester City's struggles, even having appointed Guardiola, have been evidence that gate-crashing this elite is considerably harder than Abu Dhabi or Qatar ever imagined. Could this be the year PSG have pressed their noses against the windows of the elite before looking in enviously? Under Carlo Ancelotti in 2013, they ran Barca close in the quarterfinals, and last year that 40 win at home to Barca seemed to be the coming of age only to morph into a calamitous, and, yes, referee-assisted 6-1 defeat at the Nou Camp. You might question how a transfer window which started with manager Unai Emery asking for a goalkeeper and a centre-half, a left-back and Alexis Sanchez ended up with the club spending £380 million on strikers, neither Chilean. But it's unlikely Emery will complain, if, as is often asserted, the final stage of this tournament is defined by the special players capable of changing the tightest of games, rather than exceptional coaches or tactical systems, then PSG are in position to challenge seriously. It might not be this year, but Paris Saint-Germain's moment is surely coming.